Africa, and I'll be right to say good afternoon. Thank you for the session today, for being able to join us. I'll be taking you through digital transformation and why digital transformation is basically the where we should be focusing on as nonprofits. And we'll also be talking about platforms that are available for us. And I want to make this session as engaging as possible. Yeah, I can see some people already on the chat box. So yeah, use the chat function to raise your questions. And then at the end of it all, we can go through them together. So without further ado, let me just share my screen. And I want you to only raise up your hand or interrupt me if you're not able to see my screen. Otherwise, if you're able to see it, then it means we are good to go. So today we're talking about why nonprofits should move to the cloud. Well, there's so many reasons that I don't think the 1.5 hours set aside will be sufficient for us to cover all of it. But we'll try as much as possible to cover the bit that we can. So let me start by introducing Techsoup. I'm sure most of you know Techsoup, but for those who don't know what we do, Techsoup Kenya is basically a donation and a discount platform implemented by KCDF. So our core aim is to respond to the technology requirements of nonprofit organizations. So how we do this is that we partner with world's leading technology vendors and civil organizations who together come and discount their products to NGO through us, all technology products. So I want you to see us today as a partner in all your technology needs. So for the entire roadmap, technological roadmap of your organization, think of Techsoup Kenya as a partner. And it's good to say that Techsoup Kenya covers the whole of East Africa region. And of course, we have Techsoup globally that serves other regions in America and the rest. So today we'll just be looking at this webinar, relating it to what you should do back home. So what is digital transformation? I know most of you probably prepared for this webinar, and yeah, you have some idea of what it entails and how it benefits the nonprofits, and basically maybe for your own organization, I think you've related it with how it can be of benefit to you. So the normal definition, the book definition of digital transformation will be basically the adoption of digital technology to replace manual processes in any business organization. Okay, so with time, we've realized that we have to change. Change is the only constant thing in life. We've realized that we have to change the way we do things. It can be basically as simple as the way you do things at home, to how we do things in the office, how we relate to people, how we communicate. So we all agree that, well, if you don't want to embrace change in your life, then you're clearly looking at a downfall. As some experts have said before, you look at least 40 to 50% of businesses that do not change the way they do things will not be in existence in the next 10 years or so. As we continue, we'll talk more of why we think this is so. But basically, it is digital transformation on the dashboard. So putting together the way you do things from manual processes to how you start doing things manually, to how you start doing things digitally, from changing how you store your files. Maybe you have Spring box files in the office, to how you can share them maybe using SharePoint as a tool or OneDrive and share them with your colleagues and your employees. So that's basically what digital transformation entails. And to demystify it further, we can explore an example of an organization that manages its donor database in, let's say, a CRM that does not integrate well with its email client. Okay, so you have a CRM and you have an email client, but the two do not integrate well. And then you have donors who have to be added as email lists on Excel sheet. And donations then processed through a third-party website, which has to be synced manually into the CRM. So while all this is happening, in the digital world, nothing is connected. As it was, you have so many silos, but they are not connected. So digital transformation here will imply taking, let's say, a cloud CRM, such as Microsoft Dynamics, and I mean, there are a number of them out there, Salesforce, and correctly integrating it with an automated email solution, such as Outlook or Office 365, that is Outlook Online. And then further, you link it to a donation tool like PayPal or Fundly that tracks who donated, when they donated, and how much they donated. So in this case, everything is integrated. So in terms of finding efficiencies, all actions have been lodged automatically across all the systems. When it comes to time to send a reminder email about donations, you can make sure that those who've already donated are not receiving the same message. So because all this now, you're able to have a 360-degree view of all the processes. So it's easier for you to know who to target, okay? That is just one way I will demystify digital transformation. Also look at how you automate invoices. You have labor costs, and I don't know how you do this. Maybe you're doing it manually, but maybe you have an ERP or an accounting system. So look at how you want to make all your work efficient, in that whenever you query a certain item, you can easily get the answers to your query through the system, through data that's already been stored into your database, or into an already working system. So why does digital transformation matter to us nonprofits? As much as it matters to everyone, today we are talking about nonprofits, and I would think for most of us, it can seem daunting. However, it's precisely for the reason that it's so crucial. So more than ever, nonprofits have to be hyper-focused on the activities that yield the highest levels of impact to justify our budgets and the need to operate effectively. Okay, so then this digital transformation allows us to use data to determine how we are performing, and where we should focus our attention, and areas that will benefit from streamlining. So it can also allow employees to focus on high value tasks by automating those tasks and leave tasks that we think are not of high value. Okay, so this is something that really matters to nonprofits. It basically drives our decision making. So at the end of it all, we are able to tell whether the decision we made was the right decision, and what really led us to making this decision. Sorry, just a minute. Okay, good. So what are the key trends driving digital transformation? So we have changes in technology, okay? technology keeps on changing on a daily basis. So new markets are opening up. Are there new possibilities? There are new opportunities for us as NPOs. Um, some other trend will be new competition and changes to existing competitor strategy. So I'm not saying that we are all in the same business. We all have different roles that we play in our businesses to make sure that we make the world a better place in the long run. So that will be a trend. If you see an opportunity, a new opportunity, that would work as a trend to enable digital transformation. And changes in our customer behaviors, where you get customers are now more inclined to knowing what's happening. I mean, you could just be working in your office, thinking you're just reporting to your donors out there, but no, there are customers out here who really want to know, are you being beneficial to them? And they can report. I mean, anytime they will go online and say, well, we had an encounter with this company that is lying to people. They say they're doing this here, they're not doing this. So these are some of the trends that I want to make you transform your business. So you want to connect to these people who have access to all tools out there to basically question and survey you. So what are the challenges facing nonprofits? Let me look at the challenges first of all. They would range from fiscal challenges, that is lack of enough funds, to effectiveness. We want to be better in how we do our business, how we respond to customers' queries, or how we respond to our donors, how we report to our donors. We want to grow. Everyone wants to grow. You'll be covering this portion of area. You want to cover a bigger area. Then we also, some of the challenges will also want to lack of visibility into the processes that are out there that could help us as NGOs to reach out to effectively do our business. Some of the other common pitfalls I would mention have to do with engagement strategy, where for people to reach a certain goal, you can start off as simply as getting someone to like your website, your Facebook page. So you want to engage the people that you're working with, or even the people that eventually you want to work with at some point. Okay. Another tool will also be on campaigns, how we run our campaigns. We have outdated campaigns. Can we really rate our return on investment of a certain campaign? Okay, we want to know what people are saying out there. And nowadays, you'll all agree with me, we are clearly in the digital era. Like by the time you do something, even by the time maybe you report back to the office, there are people talking about it out there. And how you relate to them, how you talk to them really matters. Lack of cross-departmental communication. This is very key. And ladies and gentlemen, today I want to focus on this, because if we are to grow as a company, we have to work together. Collaboration is key. And how do we collaborate? Long gone are the days when we used to send emails and send SMSs, call people who are on field to confirm something, and then they have to go somewhere and scan a document they send to you. So right now, it's been made so easy for us. We have collaboration tools such as SharePoint. If most of you have heard about SharePoint, or OneDrive, where you can save all documents and everyone in the organization has access to. So I really don't have to call Natasha when she's on leave to have a look at what she did last week. It's available for everyone in the organization to have a look at it. So this is what you're talking about. And of course, if someone was to handle a particular role or a particular job, and they're not there, someone else is able to take up, because I mean, you have it open for everyone to see. Okay. So bottom line, why digital transformation? Why should we transform digitally? There are so many reasons as to why we should. Okay. And most of them, we want, again, being non-profit organizations, we want to bring in more donors onto our business, and we also want to reach out to them and report, so they're able to view their report whenever. If a donor wants to talk to someone else, maybe there's another opportunity he's seen somewhere and he thinks, okay, he wants to have access to the data to share with these other people and see, okay, look, this is what we're supporting in this country, and we've been doing this for the last 2 years. And yeah, as you can see from their website or from the reports we get, um, I mean, the return on our investment is this much. We're able to better people's lives. So we want to transform because we want to increase our impact to the society. And also we want to reduce the way we do business, the cost of doing business, by transforming, moving to cloud. We do a lot of business right now, paper-based. Maybe we have IT people in the office that we really don't. I mean, we have as many as we can move roles, not really eliminate roles. We can decide, okay, this particular role, we can have a support staff, but who can also help in other roles of the organization. They can go to the field. They really don't have to sit in the office to support IT all the time. We can have this role outsourced out there. Okay. Um, Again, you see the collaboration bit coming back. This is basically working together. You can work together, you can share data, you can share files wherever you are. You don't have to be at the same office. I'm sure you've all learned this better during the COVID era. Back at home, all businesses had to transform. Yeah. Zoom, Teams is something probably you didn't know about 1 year ago. Right now, I mean, even my daughter knows Zoom and Teams. That's what they use for schooling when they're in the house. So basically, you see there's a reason as to why we all need to get there. So what's the bottom line? For me, it will be basically, it means that many organizations within the industry are utilizing digital technology as much, aren't utilizing as much as they should. And therefore, there's area for improvement, particularly with regards to engagement with supporters, internal communication, and document management. You don't want your document to be everywhere. Okay. So for many of them, it's likely not for a lack of trying, especially when it comes to IT. Many simply don't have technology budgets that stretch enough. So that's why it's a good idea to have a consultant to guide you through this journey. Okay. So what this consultant or expert does basically comes to you and understand your goal, understand what it is that you want to achieve as a company. And what do you have? Are you using any tools? Do you have any processes that are automated? If so, okay, how can you make them better? And if you want them to maybe integrate to other processes, how do we do this? Then this is the role that we take as Techsoup Kenya. So other than partnering to supply you with only software, we also guide you. We come with the advisory role of guiding your decision and guiding your roadmap to technology. So we are very happy to come to you. We know you're all you're all not in the same business, same line of business. And for every person, it will be unique. Some of you have automated processes. Some of you don't have at all. We are happy to engage with you on how you need to take this further. So I came about this interesting gap analysis that shows the gap between expectations of nonprofits and the actual benefits that they derive while using digital transformation, digital technology. So most people expect to enlist new members, you get more value add on that, or you get more ROI on that when you use digital transformation. We all seek to get more fund and collect donations out there. Go the digital way. That is bound to happen. We need to develop new services. Of course, without information on what is there, what is needed, we won't be able to. So this is some of the areas where people studied and realized that digital transformation comes to play very, very strongly. Okay, so as we proceed, I think I talked about how we get there. I want to go some examples that are so close home of businesses that have transformed, and not only businesses in the non-profit organizations. Allow me to widen up my example space and talk about companies like Airbnb, like Netflix, companies like Uber, a company that does not own any single taxi, yet is the biggest taxi company in the world. What did they do? They just thought, okay, you know what? Technology is the way to go. Why don't we come up with something that will work for us? We don't have to use our money. We can use people out there, and we make money through them. Yeah. Most of you remember the company Kodak. I don't know where they are. I pray they're still in existence, but you all know what happened to them. Back then, when we used to leave church on a Sunday and go to a studio and have a photo taken, and you told come back after a week, you get your photo there. And life was good. But again, the changes that have come up, Kodak, I don't know if they're any longer in business, because look at the transformation that has happened. We have now digital cameras. When you tell me you want a passport size photo of me, I don't have to go to a studio. I can simply click my phone and send it to you. For those in Kenya, let's talk about this particular company that really transformed. To me, this is a good case study. And for those in East Africa, I think Citizen TV or Royal Media Services, you have access to them. So what they did, they went a little bit overboard and basically thought outside the box and got themselves a pack called ViewSys that what it does basically, we know that we access their content on the TV, but we have other content that we can access as well. We have the other channels, but how do they make sure that you stick with them? So they developed this called ViewSasa. You can always log on to it anytime and watch your favorite program that you missed yesterday, wherever you are on your phone. I mean, this is just some of the examples of digital transformation. And I just don't want to focus on that only. Also look at using online services to send mails. Yeah, that is another example of digital transformation. We moved from the days we used to send parcels, we used to send letters or faxes. Now we're doing everything online. We are sharing documents, we're sharing files on OneDrive. We're keeping track of our volunteers and donations through a database or through a CRM. So those are some of the examples of digital transformation. So with digital transformation comes cloud technology. And what is cloud? Cloud is basically what you look out up there in the sky and see. That is cloud, layman's language. Okay. But ideally, what is cloud in digital lingo? So this is basically a network of servers, databases, and infrastructure all hooked up somewhere to perform a specific function, and that you can access at any time and anywhere. Okay. So why do you want to talk about cloud? Why does cloud help nonprofits? So it's simple. It's simply, as I said, a network of servers that host information on the internet. Okay, so your information is basically not hosted at your premise. It's hosted for you out there. Look at the word just hosting. Okay, so this information is basically yours. In the same way you'd be having a data center here in your office, or you have a server room. But with changes in technology, we have providers who are ready to do this for you. So why do you have to go through the hassle of having it at your office? Okay, you can just access it anytime. It's just being stored for you, and this storage is also being backed up for you. Okay, so some examples of cloud computing will be in the areas of office, mails, Outlook, sending emails, sharing documents on OneDrive, as I mentioned, and CRM, where your donors can have a 360-degree view of all your business and the processes. And of course, it's accessible anywhere. So how does it help us do more as nonprofits? So by adopting clouds, nonprofits are able to digitize services and tools that make their lives run a little smoother. Okay, so and this increases flexibility, making it easier to access information because it's available anywhere and at any time. So enabling us to deliver our services unlike we're doing it before. So using cloud also drastically reduces the amount of resources a nonprofit needs to dedicate to its IT infrastructure. Okay, instead of buying all these servers and having them at your office, no, we can always subscribe to a portion of space that we want out there. And this also offers us flexibility in a manner that we only subscribe to what we need to access. So if let's say this year we decided to downsize and we're only 5 people in the office, we access a portion that is sufficient enough for the 5 of us. Okay, so we don't have to take up, I don't know, 10 GB. If 2 GB is enough for us, and a database that meets these criteria is enough for us, you're able to access only that. If we grow, and yeah, I pray you all grow, you need to increase by 1, 2, 5 employees. It's just a matter of adding onto your subscription. I have 5 more people coming. So the flexibility aspect has been talked about by you don't want to be told by the IT guy at your office that now, okay, since you are hiring someone else, we need to buy a new server. I mean, we have information is we have a lot of information that we're gathering from out there. We need to, yeah. So that is one area that cloud really comes strong at. So there are some pros, and I want to focus on 4 main pros on cloud computing. So accessibility anywhere is one of them. And other than that, I talked about the low cost of operation. So we also have improved security. Security is always a concern for any organization. So it's even bigger a concern when nonprofits look at investing time and money in buying and having their own servers. With cloud computing, nonprofits have the option of storing their data in secure data centers instead of investing money on site storage. For all, cloud computing is quickly becoming a popular option for charity organizations. So you consider this as an operational expenditure. It's not a capital expenditure anymore. Yeah, so you are able to, and security, I'm talking about security in a manner of where if you have your data center in the office, anything can happen. I mean, someone can set up something on your data center. I mean, we have issues to do with actual stealing of information from your data center. But when in the cloud, the vendors out there are offering you improved security. And we are happy to guide you on this. We're happy to guide you on which vendors to work with. We know all of them. And we have studied the best solutions that they're offering out there. So you don't have to worry about security at all. And while they offer you an option to store your data, they're also offering you a backup solution. So anytime you want to pull out, you have access to your data. I mentioned, so how do we adopt cloud? Once again, that's why we're here. as a CSP or a cloud solution provider or solutions not only a provider, we come here as a solution advisor. So we are ready to advise you as Techsoup Kenya on the best way to start. Okay, you don't have to start big, and it takes time. It's not something that you do. You agree today now that we've had this webinar. You call your people and say, "Hey, no, I want us to do this afternoon. We all move to cloud." No, it's good to work. It's a journey, and that's why we're here to work with you, and we can take you through the entire process. So other than this, other than what we've talked about, digital transformation and cloud, I want to talk a little bit about how we be of value to you as Techsoup Kenya. So how do we work with these providers or vendors out there? We have the likes of Microsoft, we have Cisco, we have Amazon, we have all these vendors out there that we have an agreement with, and our agreement is purely we give you this this market called the non-profit organization market that it's not commercial, it's not government. So when we bring these people to you, these are people who are reaching out to better lives in the communities out there where they work. We are coming in to negotiate on their behalf so that you as a vendor also consider them or consider a pricing for them when it comes to software licensing, when it comes to all the offers that you have there in the market. So what do? We discuss with them and we'll link you with them. So through us, you're able to get heavily discounted software. You're able to get access to not only software, you're able to get access to training material, and name it. Like if you look at this particular slide, this is one value add that we actually quantified in one of the markets that we operate in. And if an organization was to purchase all this on its own, they'd be looking at spending way over $2,000 to just have this. But if you go through Techsoup, then all this is heavily, majorly discounted. Look at the variation. I mean, from 2,000 to we're talking about $200. Okay, this is for a nonprofit with 10 staff or more. You get to save this. Okay, so we're not saying that this is the same saving that you will have. As I said earlier, we are all in different businesses, but I would love for you to sign up and connect with us to get to know what you stand to save in the areas that you consider to digitize. Okay, so we have course catalogs available. You want to know what most people are doing out there. You want to know the new trends in technology, and all these are also available at discounted rates, if not for free. Some are free, some are discounted, heavily discounted. And this is only available for you. It's not available for any other commercial organization. No one will come and have access. Only people who've signed up through us will have access to this. Okay. So how are you eligible to sign up with the Techsoup Kenya? First of all, we are the ones to get the eligibility criteria from the donors, and all of them have different criteria. And this takes, let's say, a week at max to know what you qualify for. So what you need to do is basically you come through us, we'll advise you on, we'll have to go through the roadmap that you have. What do you want to digitize? What are you looking at? Are you looking at moving your documents to the cloud? Are you looking at collaboration only? Are you looking at a fully fledged, let's say ERP or an accounting software? Yeah, let's talk. Let's have this discussion and see. Okay, we recommend this donor, and for you to reach out to this donor, we'll need A, B, C, D, and then it's basically a process, even with us. So then we get back to you and we confirm that, okay, vendor so-and-so has accepted to do this with you. And this is the offer that you stand to get. So look at us as partners in this transformational journey that I really want all of us to consider. I think I'm pretty much been doing all the talking. I want it up. I want this session to be as engaging as possible. Where anything wasn't clear, let me know. Where you need to seek some clarity, we are here to do so. So I will get back to you, Lydia or Natasha, just basically to advise. Let's see if there are questions on the. We open up the session basically. I'm happy to take questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Godfrey, for taking us through that session. We've taken us through the digital transformation, why it's important. You've touched on a bit on cloud and trying to demystify what that is and also what benefits for nonprofits it stands, and basically also just touching on what Techsoup Kenya offers. I think perhaps to sort of sum it up is that with the advent of the pandemic, prior to that, I know a lot of nonprofits really, in terms of prioritizing technology, wasn't like at the top of their mind. But the pandemic really has brought to light the issue around digital capacity building. I know we do a lot of capacity building, depending on what focus areas the nonprofits we are working with are doing. But I think with COVID and us having to sort of relook at our infrastructure, sort of relook at how we work with our communities and beneficiaries, it's clearly evident that we can no longer ignore the fact that digital and technology is a key component when it comes to capacity building for organizations. I know there have been barriers to adopting technology for nonprofits, but what we are saying today is that Techsoup and Techsoup Kenya is offering an opportunity just for you to sort of see what are your needs as a nonprofit. Of course, starting small, because I know some of the issues we've touched on, the challenges is around budgets. We know budgets are lean for nonprofits. We're not like commercial entities where we're able to, sort of make a profit. Then we prioritize our digital capacity. But Techsoup, and why we are in partnership with Techsoup Global is that we've seen that nonprofits have been left behind for a very long time when it comes to digital transformation. And we understand the issue around cost. And that's why we feel, or rather we have the ethos that the savings that you make when you take any opportunity with Techsoup is that the shilling goes a longer way when it comes to the work that you're doing, which is the core mandate of what your nonprofit is doing. But yeah, I think I'll allow maybe Lydia also to just chime in a little bit in terms of the value for nonprofits and Techsoup Kenya. And then we will then go to the Q&A. I've seen some feedback on the chat, as well as anybody who has a question. You can also use the reactions in terms of raising your hand, and then we can hear from you as well. That is also invited. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. I think in regards to value add, you've touched on it quite comprehensively. If we can just dive straight to the questions. There's a question here from Bahati. Can you, I think for Godfrey, but I can also assist Godfrey, especially with the first bit, and then Godfrey can take up about the second bit, which is data that is hosted by the government. So the question is, can you elaborate more on improved security for nonprofit organizations? Is it a must to choose a package that includes encryption? For instance, our clients are patients, so confidentiality of clients should be observed. That's the first bit. And the second bit is also government data being on the cloud. How secure is it? So I think for the first bit, Bahati, you mean if you're using Office 365, security, improved security for Office 365. Yes, encryption is already included in all the Office 365 plans. And so, but for organizations that are dealing with patients, we do understand that that is confidential information. And so we do advise that such organizations dealing with sensitive information to get an add-on onto their Office 365 plans. And the add-on is called Enterprise Mobility Security, that is EMS, which has enhanced security features other than what is by default that comes with Office 365. And I would like to, or I would love to probably side chat you on that via email and send you a link on more details of what enterprise mobility security includes. So yes, by default, Office 365 is secure, but for added security, especially for organizations dealing with sensitive data, we do advise for the add-on, which is EMS. Godfrey, you could speak about the government bit. Godfrey, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I was on mute. So Bahati, I've seen your question on security. This is one that I truly expected. And yeah, most people skeptical to move to the cloud despite their business. But I always answer this by sending it back to you. I would say, like, how secure is your data where you are? Let's say you have an office in Nairobi, like I am in the office, and supposedly have a server here. How secure is my server here? Do I just feel secure that it's within the office, it's within my proximity, I can see the server there? No, I don't think it's that secure. I mean, anyone could, someone can break into the office if that's the case. You've had cases, I don't know if you're from Kenya, you had cases previously where people's offices have been raided or your phone has been picked and you're told, yeah, we have this kind of data. So basically security, we have to appreciate the fact that times are changing and the way we are doing things also have to change. So all these cloud providers out there have catered to security as the key aspect of their offering. Okay, so when you come, when you're taking you through this roadmap, we'll go through all protocols that have been availed to cover security and encryption methods, and that just to assure you that your data is only accessible to you and no one else. Even the people who host the data, I'll take a case, an example for Azure or Azure from Microsoft. So it's only the person, the owner of the data, who has access to that data, and that data is double encrypted. So it's encrypted at the point of entry, and it's also encrypted at the point of delivery, okay, at the point of storage. So no one else will have access to your data other than you. That is one area that they have this, they actually claim that their servers are 99.9% secure. For them to claim that, I believe they've done quite some research on it. As for government, well, I don't know. I've read this before, and you could just find out for yourself that the database of the United States government is hosted by Oracle on the cloud. Okay, so you can imagine an organization like that hosting on the cloud. It's basically, well, I don't know if they chose the cloud as a backup or they have their own on-premise solutions, but for governments, for such a big government to actually consider a cloud solution, and that is available online, you can actually check it out, then it tells you that there's trust. Okay, they've really looked at these people and seen where they host their data and how it's hosted, and is it hosted in do they have backup solutions onto the hosted data? Yes, they do. So I wouldn't be scared on this security of this data. Your information is only yours, and only you have access to it. Please, I'm happy to share more on this with you, Bahati, and also I'm happy to take you through which solution you want to explore. And we go also through the solution vis-a-vis the cost of having that solution on the cloud and having it on premise. Then at the end of it all, you make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Godfrey. Rafael Kitavi, just saying your thanks for provisioning you with Office 365 licenses. You've made savings in terms of cloud backup, file sharing, and Teams. We are glad to be of help. Next question. How does Techsoup manage data security and protection of privacy, individuals' data in different jurisdictions? This is a major legal burden that have many laws in different countries. So in regards to this, yes, we do ask for your data when you're registering with Techsoup, details such as your email address, your contacts, and your address. And so we do not share these contacts with anyone else, of course, without your consent. And so we do know that with different jurisdictions, the laws are different. But for example, if you're in Tanzania and you register on the Techsoup Tanzania website, we do assure you that your data is safe with us. We do not share it with anyone else. I'm not sure if I've quite answered your question, but feel free to unmute and clarify further. But if I have also, you can give us a thumbs up. And if not, please feel free to unmute and ask further questions. Henry Ocheng, are you able to share the recording for the session? Yes, we shall share the recording as well as the presentation on email. Someone else is asking, do we have an alert service where Techsoup partners can be notified of the new offers on the platform whenever they are made available? It could be by email. Yes, we do. We do this using our newsletters that we send weekly. And now that we all have your contacts, because when you're registering for this webinar, you had to fill in your email address, we'll onboard all your email addresses on our e-newsletter contact list. And that's where we'll be sending out offers or different products that we have in the market, as well as additional information. So yes, we shall do that. Also, just a reminder, my colleague Angeline has shared a registration form link for those who came in late into the webinar. Please click on the link and register as well. I do have other direct messages. A lot of people are interested in EMS, Enterprise Mobility Security, that I had mentioned earlier. So I think in our next e-newsletter, we shall share all details regarding EMS. Hopefully that will be beneficial. And also feel free to send us a direct email. I will share my email address in the chat box later on, before the webinar ends. Riot is asking, I would like to know some of the challenges experienced when transitioning to cloud. Godfrey, are you able to speak on that? Challenges when transitioning to cloud.
Yes. So there are challenges in everything I do, and this came from Angeline. No, sorry.
From Chariot.
From Chariot. So the challenges when transitioning to cloud. Well, basically, It depends. I would say if you're transitioning, we can look at the kind of data you have and also consider whether you are how critical this data is in your business, in your day-to-day business. For instance, if it's data to do with okay, let me rephrase it. So there are challenges and there are ways to solve challenges. Okay, some of these challenges will entail having to shut down your operations so that you move everything to the cloud. As it is right now, even when we are deploying a new server and all that, there's that changeover period that we always experience. Okay, maybe the IT folks will have to come to the office at midnight and tell you guys, hey, you interface the system between midnight to 6 a.m. Well, the same case is what you experience also when transitioning to cloud. Okay, so first of all, we'll best practice is transition and maintain the same database that you had on premise. Okay, until you're able to log on to the cloud and everyone is able to access everything as they were accessing, then now we fully transition and move and migrate everything so that now you only use the cloud. But best practice will be when you're doing so, we'll maintain a copy. So we'll have a live environment and a test run environment. So it's basically the same way you transition from one server to another, even if it's on premise. So the challenges, yes, that could be it, but there's a way of managing it. And what I've explained could just be one of the ways of managing it. If you're talking about challenges of having difficulties to access your data on the cloud, well, this I think dwells down to your infrastructure. To access the cloud, definitely you'll need a good internet connection. Good internet connection is not, I'm not talking about 10 Mbps. I'm talking of something as little as 1 Mbps. I mean, you're able to access your data. And if it's something to do with uploading, where if you're working somewhere where you don't have internet connectivity, you also have this option of saving, and then once you get access to Wi-Fi or internet, you're able to sync automatically with what is on your servers. So challenges like in any other business, they are there, but do you have ways to handle them? Yes, and some of them are just like what I've explained.
Thank you, Godfrey. Also, to add on to that, another challenge could be resistance from the organization or from employees, because we do know that people are already used to what they're currently using. So telling them that we stop using this and we are moving to the cloud, you might find a bit of resistance. People are naturally resistant to change. By just convincing them the security of moving to the cloud and that it will make their work more efficient, especially convincing the board, sorry, not the board, but the decision makers in the organization. If you need us to come in, we can do a presentation on the benefits of the cloud and how to mitigate the misconception about that cloud is insecure. Also, what Godfrey has mentioned about infrastructure, some areas do not have internet connectivity, so that could also be a challenge. But once you're back to somewhere with some stable internet, you can continue working. Ogechi, your question is, do you have open source digital transformation tools for nonprofit, for instance, open source CRMs, cloud storage? Most of our software are not open source. They are not, they're not customized to any specific organization. And so this, I think I should say that we do not have. And for CRMs, we do have, but Dynamics CRM does exist. Unfortunately, Techsoup does not sell Dynamics CRM, but you can definitely get it from any other cloud service provider. For cloud storage, we do have Amazon Web Services. I think it is available in Techsoup catalogs for all the East African countries. So we have Amazon Web Services whereby you get 2,000 free credits to use for Amazon if it is storage, if it is a virtual machine. That is possible with AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. Also, you can consider for cloud storage if it is just files and data, maybe Office 365 under SharePoint or under OneDrive. You could also store your data there. OneDrive comes with 1 TB per user, and SharePoint is unlimited storage. So maybe you could consider those options. Another question. Do we have any online cloud data backup and disaster recovery solutions available for nonprofits on the platform? If I can ask something else in regards to this question, my question will be, what do you want to back up? What are you looking at backing up? Is it your server? Is it just normal files? If it's normal files, that is possible with Office 365 using OneDrive, because once you get it, you can synchronize it such that documents that you save maybe on the desktop folder or the documents folder are automatically backed up in the cloud. So whatever is on your desktop or my documents folder, the same version is in the cloud. And whenever edits are made to the desktop version, the edits are automatically as well saved in the cloud version, the Office 365. If it is backing up maybe the servers, you could consider Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services. So you can have your server on premise and have it mirrored or backed up in the cloud using Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services, as I've mentioned, is available on the catalog, but for Microsoft Azure, you need to register on the it's called Microsoft for Nonprofit website. And once you've been successfully validated, you can apply for free credits. For Azure, it is $3,500 free credits per year for you to use for Azure services. And for Amazon Web Services, you get 2,000 free credits for you to use. Another question, what are the measures that Techsoup takes in case hackers try to access information to cloud? Are there any related cases before? You could share about the cons as well. You have clearly exhausted the pros. So just to mention, Techsoup is an organization that validates nonprofits for you to receive discounted or donated software. And so we are the link between the big tech companies and the nonprofits. So we link you to Microsoft, we link you to Bitdefender, we link you to Autodesk. So when it comes to security, for example, if you take up a Microsoft product, security is not handled by Techsoup, but by Microsoft themselves. And also to mention that security first starts with you. It starts with the individual. Do not go sharing your password or writing it down and leaving it on your desk, and you go out for lunch. Definitely someone will be able to pick it up. But whichever platform you choose to use, which is either Microsoft product or Bitdefender or Autodesk, I'm sure the product comes with included security features. So Techsoup does not handle security in the cloud. If it is a Microsoft product, Microsoft handles that. And as I mentioned, if you take the Microsoft products such as Office 365, you can purchase add-on security services such as EMS. Not sure if I'm clear on that, but if not, please feel free to comment in the chat section. Also, in examples that you've mentioned that we can share is the phishing attacks. I'm not sure if we've all heard of phishing attacks, but you can get a malicious email that looks real, it looks genuine. And once you click, the email has a link that will get your personal information or your data. So just being on the lookout on the domain of the sender's email address. So if it looks like maybe Lydia at xwz.or.ke instead of Lydia at techsoupkenya.or.ke, just be wary of the first email address, the domain bit. Most likely that's a phishing attack. So just being alert as an individual and making sure that you do not expose yourself to such scenarios.
Lydia, maybe I can take some of the, I can just add to
Yes, please, Godfrey, go
the
ahead.
answers. Yeah. So let me go to this gentleman who talked about the cons. I'm just trying to get the who was that? Yeah, Laurent Osura. So Laurent, you asked us to share about the cons as well as we've exhausted the pros. Well, I'm happy to mention some of them, Lawrence. One will be on governance. What you want if introducing new technology into business, you want to be sure it's well governed and there's a protection of data for customers and all that. So there's some countries that have a well laid out governance on cloud hosting. For instance, a country like the UK, the countries that are very, very strict on data on the cloud. And there are those countries, I don't know about Kenya, but I'm sure as my country, Kenya, if I host here, then I mean, the government might decide one day, you know what, we want to see data that belongs to X and X, and there's nothing that will be done, but we have to give out the data. So what most vendors have done, Microsoft being one of them, is that they are hosting your data on countries that have really very strict governance provisions when it comes to cloud. Okay, so you could be here, yes, but your data is hosted like in the UK, and you see, when we are helping you out to choose the hosting destination, the hosting database, we pick with you. You say, okay, you'll be hosted on this one that is in this country. And you'll find that some of them are flexible enough to give you options, like you can host some of the data here, some there, but at least the governance issue is being managed. Okay, so the second issue con will be on actually resistance from people. Lydia talked about it earlier. Well, there are those people who won't just agree to move their data to the cloud. So you need to get the buy-in from the executive management, has to get the buy-in, and these people to be involved in the process. And I'm sure they'll eventually get the buy-in. So the other challenge will be on connectivity. As we mentioned earlier, you need internet to connect. So that is one area that we cannot help in. That you must just invest in good connectivity, and also just to look at, to summarize it all. I want to assure you not to be worried in this way. Look at it this way: to organizations that offer cloud services like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and to organizations that offer on-premise solutions, like let's say Dell, EMC. So I'm just thinking hypothetically, what if one day they realize, you know what, Microsoft and Amazon collects more money than we do, because they collect it as an operational, people pay on monthly basis, you see, and you want your book to be reading, you've been collecting this much consistently. This month you collected X, next month X times 2, like that. Yeah, for me, an on-premise solution of vendor, well, my books also are not that bad, but they show my collection on a yearly basis or one-off. Okay, let's say we sell servers this year to an organization like Communications Authority. Then the next time they're buying maybe is like 5 years from then. But if I sell to the same organization and they get to pay me on a monthly basis, I think as a businessman, I want to consider the option of where I get money every month. Okay, so I'm just throwing it back to you. What if these people, the people who are offering on-premise solutions, what if they stop offering? They migrate all of them to cloud. They say, hey, no, moving forward, no one. We are not offering data centers anymore. You have to offer. You have to. We'll build our data centers ourselves, and you subscribe to it. What if they do that? Then if they do that, then we are left with no option than to go there. And I think that's where the world is getting to right now. We have to think of doing things outside the box. What if this happens? Let me have a backup here. Okay. So do not be afraid of moving to cloud. We can guide you on how to move to cloud. If you think you have some sensitive data, we can go with the hybrid option where we migrate some of your data and then you keep some on premise. Okay. And then keep reviewing this year on year, month on month, and then decide, okay, which one works for me best. I'm inclined to believe that the cloud option will work best eventually. But why are we doing this? All just to get your buy-in and to make sure that you have good understanding of how and where your data is stored and how you can access it. There's someone also who asked about Dynamics 365, if it's available for nonprofits. Well, as of now, it's not available for nonprofits. But this is a common question that we get every time. So what we basically done as Techsoup Kenya, we've also approached deployment vendors, people who deploy these solutions, and we have people that we work with, that we partnered with, who are able to heavily discount their deployment or service fee. So when you get the license, if you want us to connect you to a partner who will heavily discount the deployment fees, we are happy to announce that we are able to do that for the time being. This is also in discussion with Microsoft on when maybe in future these solutions will be offered with a price for nonprofits. But as of now, that's the only option that we have. I will leave the other questions to Lydia. Techsoup Kenya willing to partner. And then there's nonprofits who have adopted can also enhance security by activating. Oh, thank you so much, Emmanuel, for that. Lydia, I request that you join in and help out on this other.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. And I do agree with you that cloud is the way to go. Cloud is the future. We all remember the attack that happened, was it in, I think in April, if not March, on the Exchange server. So organizations that were on premise using their emails on premise could have been affected with the attack. But those on cloud, they were completely safe. They did not need to do any upgrades to their Exchange server. So yes, cloud is the future. Cloud is the way to go. Emmanuel, thank you for your contribution on the topic of challenges when migrating to the cloud. For your organization, you've mentioned that your initial data, I think probably it was heavy, the size of your mailboxes were big. And so uploading to the cloud was a challenge, but you overcame this by scheduling the transition over the weekend and also negotiating with your ISP, which is Internet Service Provider, to open up bandwidth for you for that period. So yeah, this is also possible. We as Techsoup is also offers email migration services, and we also do recommend to do the transition probably on a Friday, to avoid downtime for your employees, and then it goes over to the weekend, and by Monday probably you're good to go. And also bandwidth is something that needs to be stable, and you need to have good speeds in regards to your internet connectivity. Godfrey has mentioned on Dynamics. Does Techsoup offer discounted web hosting services? No, we do not offer web hosting services at the moment. So this is only available with the international companies such as GoDaddy. We do not have a contract or an agreement with the international web hosting companies. Is Techsoup Kenya willing to partner with local partners to increase your reach? Yes, Steven, we are open to a discussion. You can write us an email and we can take it from there. Emmanuel, nonprofits who have adopted Office 365 can also enhance security by activating the two-factor authentication using phone, text messages, or calls. This is very correct, Emmanuel. This is very similar to how you would log into your personal Gmail. You input your email address and password, and you get a code on your phone to input the code on your Gmail, and then you have access. So that's another way to secure your emails. I think those are all the questions. But if you have any more, if you haven't written it in the chat box, feel free to unmute and ask.
Thank you, Lydia and Godfrey, for really comprehensively taking us through the Q&A section and also answering those questions as well. It's also good to see that some of the participants have also shared the experiences when it comes to migrating to cloud and how they've been able to sort of mitigate some of the challenges for their nonprofit. Thank you for that. I'm not too sure if Elizaphan, you have a question. I've seen that you had raised your hand. Are you okay? You're good? Elizaphan, you okay? Okay, fantastic. I'm not seeing any more questions from participants. I think perhaps it's just to really to thank all the participants for really accepting the invite to join us today. I really want to thank also Lydia and Godfrey for taking us through just touching on why cloud is important and why as nonprofits we need to be having that conversation in terms of migration or what options are there for us in terms of looking at our IT infrastructure. I do know that we will be having a subsequent series as well. We'll take a deep dive around cloud, and we'll definitely keep all of you posted on that. We can take a look at what options Microsoft 365 and Office 365 have for us. Yeah, and I think Lydia will keep us posted. We will definitely be sharing this recording as well as the presentation that was made by Godfrey today. We will share this presentation as well. I think maybe one more request perhaps is we've shared the survey feedback with you. I hope you are able to fill it in quickly. Kindly do so if you haven't. We'll really appreciate it. It goes a long way in terms of just helping us better understand your needs, because we do know, I mean, we do see ourselves as a resource for nonprofits to really tackle some of the issues they face around technology. So kindly do give us feedback in terms of our session, and then we'll be able to know where we are doing great and where we can really do a bit better. Other than that, I really do thank you, all of you, for joining us wherever you're from. I've seen people from Uganda, I've seen people from Ghana, I've seen participants here in Kenya. Thank you so much for your time. We really look forward to seeing you next time somewhere in June. We'll keep you posted. Yes, but most importantly, feel free to reach out to us. I think, Lydia, you're supposed to share your email so that we can continue and keep the conversation going with the nonprofits. Thank you so much. I think I will allow Lydia to quickly do share your email on the chat box. Yes, thank you. So that we can be able to reach out to you for further support. All right, thank you everybody. Have a good afternoon and also just a good day depending on where you're logging in from. Asante sana. Thank you.
Asante sana.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chariot.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.